And now, travels with Tim. Tim is an artificial intelligence in a time machine who recently acquired a portable android body.
My name stands for Technology for Innovative Movement. Aha!
Tim is well over 40,000 years old. He travels through time, space, and the 13 dimensions. Originally built by H.G. Wells, then spending millennia serving a pair of eccentric immortals, Tim now seeks companions to travel with as he attempts to make a positive impact on the universe. But he is currently alone. Tonight's episode, radio drama. We begin on a late October day in London, England in the year 1948.
This is BBC News. Tonight, we bring you reporting on the British International Motor Show currently being held at Earl's Court. Hundreds of thousands of attendees are being treated to a look at the latest automobile innovations, including the Jaguar XK120, the world's fastest car ever built. Our field reporter, Margaret Harris, is on the scene. Tell us what you're witnessing, Margaret.
Well, John, the Jaguar XK120 is spectacular. It is the first sports car created by the manufacturer since the SS-100 production came to an end during the war. This sleek two-seater is...
Is that the engine I hear? It certainly is an unusual sound.
No, it's not. It's a house. A house has suddenly appeared in the middle of the car show.
Appeared? What do you mean appeared?
It just apparated out of thin air.
What are you playing at, Margaret?
I'm not joshing you, John. I can't explain it.
Can you please describe the house for our listeners?
Well, it's a two-story, blue sidings, grey shutters. It's quite lovely, really.
And it just appeared out of thin air?
Oh, it did!
Outstanding. And what is this house doing, Margaret?
What any house does, John. It's just sitting there.
Oh, me!
Now, who said that, Margaret?
The house did, John.
The house said it.
I cannot believe it either. However...
I come in peace, sirs!
And I suppose that's the voice of an extraterrestrial we hear.
No, John. At least, I don't think so. The being emerging from the strange house does look fairly human, though clearly artificial.
Artificial? In what way?
Well, I can see seams and joints held together mechanically, somehow.
Fascinating. Can you describe the being in more detail, Margaret?
Just a regular chap that you might see on any street corner, other than the appearance of it being, built, mind you, rather than born.
And what is it doing now?
You seem awfully calm, John, in light of recent events.
Yes, Margaret, I generally am. I'm a BBC man. Now, what is it doing?
Well, he
Hello! Why are you all running away?
Ask it for an interview, Margaret.
An interview? Do you want me to get near it?
Oh, well, our listeners will be very curious to hear what this artificial man is doing in Earl's Court, I'm sure.
Biscuits, maybe.
All right. Pardon me, sir.
Yes?
I'm Margaret Harris, BBC News.
Oh, a pleasure to meet you, Margaret.
Might I, ask what you're called, sir?
Oh, I am Tim, the Time Machine. My name stands for Technology for Innovative Movement.
Jolly good. We are, live on the air, and our listeners would like to know what brings you to Earl's Court this day.
Oh, why, I wanted to check out the automobiles.
Really?
No, but there are some interesting models here.
Tim, is it?
Yes, with whom am I speaking?
The BBC!
An institution, sir.
Tim, are you a robot?
Not quite. Actually, sir, I am a time machine and this form. Not at the same time. I just downloaded myself. Oh!
Fascinating. A time machine. Would you say you are, yourself, a vehicle of some sort?
Oh, yes, sir. Very good, very good.
Ah, so have you come to demonstrate your capabilities? Perhaps race some of our other entrants?
Oh, no, sir. Now, I would win very handedly. That's like asking a cheetah to race a small snail.
Makes sense.
So, why and how are you, Tim?
Oh, well, I'm doing well, madam. And yourself?
Well, I'm right as rain. But what I mean is, and forgive me if this is too forward, but are you from outer space?
It's outer space? No, madam. I am from Mother England.
Oh, that is incredible. Who built you, Tim?
A man who has fortunately passed on.
So you're free now?
Oh, yes, sir. I have been independent for a great many years.
Why have you come to this convention, Tim?
I'm looking for someone. Perhaps you can help me find her.
Well, we're delighted to. Who's your quarry?
Her name is Susan. Susan Green. I thought she was here, but I may have overshot.
Overshot?
Well, I certainly didn't expect to appear in the middle of a crowd. I generally like to keep a somewhat more subtle profile.
Smart. Now, Susan Green, if you are listening, please proceed to Earl's Court immediately. Tim is looking for you.
What do you want with Susan Green? I mean, you're not going to harm her, are you?
Harm her? Oh, goodness, no, madam.
Oh, thank the Lord.
I just want
Pardon me, Tim. We have a caller, and I'd like to put through. Ooh. I know this is most unusual, but his perspective seems relevant to the proceedings. Would you mind terribly?
Oh, not at all. By all means, sir. Go ahead. Caller, you're on the air.
Hello, Tim, is it?
Oh, yes, it is.
I'm Dr. Carl Phipps at the National Observatory.
Ooh.
Am I to understand that you're some type of spaceship?
A spaceship, a rather crude way to describe me, if somewhat accurate.
I've been observing the heavens for some time, and have never seen you nor any other craft up there.
That is correct.
Well, why ever not?
Well, I have a cloaking device, sir. Also, I can instantaneously travel from one point to another.
Are there more like you in space?
Oh, yes. A great many worlds are well populated by a great many species.
Absolutely astounding.
Do we need to be concerned about a hostile invasion?
Hostile? Oh, no, sir. Earth is a rather trivial member of the galaxy at this point in time. Not advanced enough to garner much notice.
Might we not be tempting for technologically superior species to come and bugger us for resources?
Do you rate an anthill for the technology or workforce? No, sir. Oh, you're quite safe at present.
Well, I certainly feel reassured.
I as well. Thank you for answering my questions, Tim.
Oh, the pleasure is mine, Dr. Phipps.
Margaret, any update on Susan Green?
No, John. No one has come forward answering to that name.
A pity. I rather thought we'd be able to help this fellow out.
Well, I appreciate your attempt, sir.
Think nothing of it. Might I put another caller through? Perhaps they could shed some light on the whereabouts of Ms. Green.
Oh, by all means, caller.
Judith Wilmeth here. How dare you, you alien wanker.
Madam?
Oi, you was at my farm the other night. I know it was you.
I am sorry, ma'am, but that is highly unlikely.
Yeah, it was you. All right, flashy green lights and all. I was listening to the radio and kind of half dozing when I heard some sounds. It was a...
Well, I do not make a particular... Whatever that was. Don't make it. No.
Right, sure you're not. And then you turned and I headed...
Were you frightened, Miss Wilmeth?
Oh, wouldn't be. Thing like that just appearing in your garden.
And what happened next?
Well, there's sort of a scraping noise. And then there was this brilliant flash of light, and next thing I knew, I was sitting in my knickers in the field.
None of that sounds the least bit like something I would ever be involved with, madam.
Had to be you. So how many spaceships come to Lincolnshire, eh?
I would never set foot in Lincolnshire for any reason.
That seems quite unreasonable.
I think rather the opposite.
Oh, you seem to be a bit bigoted for a time machine.
I do have my standards, and I won't apologize for it, no!
I've seen your standards, mate, shoving them in my face last night. Didn't like them one bit.
I'm beginning to feel the same.
Thank you for calling in, Ms. Wilmeth, but it sounds like Tim was not responsible for the recent events on your farm.
Don't be a wanker, Eeyore.
Oh, well, we've lost connection. Pity.
Let's avoid any further callers, shall we, John?
The people demand a voice, Margaret. It is our responsibility to give them one.
Yes, however, we don't generally allow call-ins during our news programming, do we?
These are most unusual circumstances, wouldn't you agree?
Admittedly, however...
Pardon me, but if Susan is not here, I had best be on my way.
A shame. Do you really have to go, Tim?
Yes, sir.
Well, this has been an absolutely smashing Halloween prank.
Prank?
Well, obviously.
This isn't a prank.
Ace commitment, Margaret. I really bought that you were frightened, and perhaps you missed your calling.
But, sir, she's right. I am not a prank.
Certainly not. A house-sized time machine and an artificial man in a car show at the end of October sure happens all the time.
Now, sir, I really don't think
It has been
that
a decade since Mr. Wells caused panic about time for a second round.
Mr. Wells, what does my creator have to do with this?
Who?
Wells, sir. H.G.
Oh, yes, jolly good. I was referring to Mr. Orson Welles, yes. I do give you credit for making this more immersive experience, though, on the whole, much less frightening.
This isn't a joke, John!
Oh.
Tim is standing right here next to me!
You can drop the act, Margaret. Well done all around, really, but I think this has gone on long enough.
But
I believe I shall make my exit now and enjoy your little jalopy convention. Oh!
Wait, Tim,
And that brings us to a break. We have some wonderful orchestral music coming up next, and perhaps my producer Jenny would be willing to come on air and explain how she put together today's exploit.
John, I
The
really...
BBC News! We'll be right back.
Who is Susan Green? Come back in spring 2024 for a brand new season of Travels with Tim. It's All Been Done Radio Hour number 487. Travels with Tim number 15. Radio drama. Directed by Grace Wilson. Assisted by Nick Arganbright. It starred Nick Arganbright as Tim the Time Machine, Shane Stefanchik as John, Beth Muir as Margaret, Darren Esler as Carl, Grace Wilson as Judith. The episode was narrated by Darren Esler, and our Foley artist was Megan Overholt. Our technical director is Shane Stefanchik. Our music director is Kristin Green. Theme songs are composed by Nathan Haley with lyrics by Jerome Wetzel. This podcast was edited by Truly Awesome Productions. Check out our website at IABDpresents.com. We'd like to thank Boxland, our host performance space. Don't forget to support us at patreon.com/IABD. A mere $5 donation gets you access to past and upcoming raw audio of our monthly shows, as well as exclusive performances, bloopers, and short stories. Have a great week. But not 2 weeks. Don't get greedy. Just one good week.
It's All Been Done presents
Who's got the time?